Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 3 Points of Articulation podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Wills, and today we're doing the spoiler and brawl. We're back after a summer off. It's now the winter. The nights have got cold, so I've got three friends here to give me a little warm cuddle. First of all, it's been a while, Johnny. Johnny Flashback's here.
Thanks, Jimmy. Where's the insult of a introduction, which I was expecting?
Well, you're last minute, so
Fair enough.
yeah, sort of didn't really have time to. I didn't really prepare it for Chris either, to be honest, because I don't really know him that well. I don't want to insult the poor guy since he come on, but
First time yet.
yeah, well, this episode is rated M for mature because Mikey Cheese is here.
I'm going to be on my best behavior.
Good, yeah. You better be Gouda. That's how you got the name, wasn't it? Scott
Yeah,
Hall
the
gave you the name.
Scott Hall donned me the Gouda guy after announcing to the crowd, I'm the bad guy. Well, this right here, this is the Gouda guy. And I asked him if I could use it moving forward. He said yes, so that was it.
There you go. You don't give any money now, have you? It's all yours.
Royalty free.
Royalty free.
Dodge the bullet on that one.
Yeah.
Sorry. Rest in
E-
peace, Scott.
Everything's royalty free. We don't pay him anyway. Just go full rush. And Chris is also here. Chris TB, because your surname's too French for me.
Yeah, no, I like that. No, it saved you the embarrassment. Probably saved me having to explain it as well. So yeah, thank you guys
Or,
for having me on.
or if you and Mikey combine, it'd be T Bree.
Hmm.
Hey,
It's,
it's a tag team idea.
it's a tag team there.
Yeah.
Someone phone page would be interested in that. Mikey, you've chosen Survivor Series 1989 as the
Yeah, so this is a time frame where wrestling started becoming into my actual like daily life. As a kid, 89, I was only 4 years old at the time. But Survivor Series 1989 was the very first rental that I got from the local movie store. And yeah, I was just blown away by all the theatrics. Um, the colors started getting very vibrant right around this
mm,
time too. And that, of course, is going to be appealing to a child. So I was pretty much hooked after this.
similar to the. Do you remember the wrestling game on the NES? I think it was just called WrestleMania, Super WrestleMania, or something similar. And the front of it, when you click into it, the whole border of the game was just like a. During The Simpsons, when they did the hypnotizing thing, when they go to Japan, similar to that, where he sort of just catches your eye for it. But yeah, I think the first 5 minutes of the pay-per-view, we'll get into it in a sec, but it's just being shouted at for the first 5 minutes. As a kid, I can relate to that. Sort of happened to me. Um, yeah, Chris, you're UK based as well. So we used to have these in Blockbuster. Did you remember renting this back in the day, or?
No, no. See, I wasn't one. I missed out on the whole renting wrestling
Oh, you
tapes.
missed out.
We
Actually,
didn't have a
yeah.
local Blockbuster. I had an older cousin. He was the reason I got into wrestling. So I relied on him either lending me the tapes or when he got too old and too cool to like wrestling, he passed it all down. Survivor Series 89 was is an odd one. I was trying to remember where I first my first experience with this one. My first ever VHS was Survivor Series 88, which was 1991 when I got into it. So I was basically functioning a few years behind anyway. And then I was keeping up to date with the 91, 92 stuff that was going on. But then I ended up finding and spotting all these old tapes everywhere. I have a feeling I picked this up in a charity shop, maybe when I was in secondary school. So it took me that long to actually watch it.
You can find. I was finding as a kid when I go to charity shops or any shops, you can spot a wrestling VHS from a mile away. If you go into a shop and you'd see like a little square with a picture of an angry man on it, you know full well you're in for some gold there.
Absolutely.
And I finding SummerSlam '94 on a charity shop thing for like 95p. And I think I had about 80p in my pocket as well. It was about eight, and yeah, robbed it. Uh, Johnny, this is one of your favorite pay-per-views.
Yeah, it is. Once I heard you mention on 3PO that you were doing this one, I kind of strong armed Dan out of the podcast. So sorry,
Okay.
Dan. But yeah, a similar story to Chris, really. I probably got into wrestling around 1991 as well. And it would be my older brother that had this on VHS. So I just sort of like watched it over and over and over again. And to be honest, when I watched it again today, I just knew all the words that the commentators are going to say, all the words off by heart of the promos at the start of the show. That when Vince McMahon runs it down, like all the matches, I just know it off by heart. I've watched it that many times.
Fucking sad case. Well, before we get into the show, let's do some plugs. First of all, watch us on YouTube. Just do the normal YouTube stuff. Also, go to bigsounds.co.uk where you can buy lovely t-shirts like the one Mikey's wearing just there. Look at that, eh? That's how it should be worn. Mikey, your Instagram, you got a couple.
Yeah, I would just direct people to mikeycheese.com. That'll bring you to my Mikey Cheese Facebook page. And if you're interested in getting a figure made of yourself or seeing some of the 3D creations that I'm doing for my fandom and also for custom figures, you can check out Elite Wrestling Collectibles on Instagram. That's pretty much the only thing I got to plug.
Good. Well, My Fandom Collectibles, they've got an upcoming reveal. Because they've got a new line as well as the indie guys. They got the people who've never had a figure before. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
I'm pretty excited about this. It was a very quick process from beginning to end on this one, and there's no lack in quality. And I think a lot of people are going to be excited by it. With my fandom, though, a lot of people are questioning some of the decisions on who we're making, but it'll all start to make sense as the line progresses, I'm sure. And people will get on board and get behind the indie superstars, and then also this subset that's going to be just running parallel with the indie superstars.
Well, it's been clear from the outset that they're all going to be indie talent from America. So Crowbar being probably one of the highest level ones you're gonna probably get in an indie talent line. We're probably not gonna know who a lot of them are in the UK. It's mainly gonna be UK based.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Hopefully, people can then get to learn about them. I mean, when I was a kid and I was playing with these things, not that us 40-year-olds are now going to be playing with them, and not that we're not, but I mean, everybody needs like enhancement talent for their Fed, right? This is a
Hmm.
great opportunity to put some nice Hasbro looking figures as, space filler on your shelf. Job them out to the stars of the 80s and the 90s. I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited to get everybody's name out there.
Good. Well, yeah, you can buy pre-order them at My Fandom Collectibles, and there's an app as well that Shannon told me about. Chris, Once Upon a Turnbuckle on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
So yeah, thank you. Yeah, for giving me an opportunity to shout about it. I don't get to
Hey, just
many
open the
opportunities.
window, mate, and shout it out the window. Go on.
So yeah, Once Upon a Turnbuckle is my podcast. So it's been around for about 5 years. 4.5 of those, it's been an interview sort of show. I've had guys on there from the guys you recognise from the 80s and 90s, but also some of the British indie stars from down our way. I've had on as well. It started off though as really me reliving everything I loved about old school wrestling because I'm not so much a fan of the new stuff. It's all the old school stuff. So if you like all that kind of thing, you can find it on Spotify, YouTube, my YouTube channel, Dead Men's Tales. No, Dead Men's Tales and Turnbuckles. Yes, I've had to change
Are you
the
sure?
names.
Sure.
There we go.
There you
Dead
go.
Men's Tales, Dead Men's Tales and Turnbuckles, because I've got like 4 different podcasts and I've lumped them all on there. But yeah, if you just Google Once Upon a Turnbuckle, you'll find me on Instagram at Once Upon a Turnbuckle as well. You'll find it all on there. But yeah, it's been good fun.
Stuff. And Johnny, have you ever been caught wanking?
Always. Yeah, big court wanking usually on Facebook on Jonny Flashback, Jonny. Also, if you follow Dropkick Championship Wrestling and IWF Imperial Wrestling Federation, that's where I'm normally wrestling at.
And stuff. I knew you'd won the title as well for one of them.
Yeah, current tag team champion at Dropkick Championship Wrestling.
There we go. Not wearing the belt, but we did see it earlier, so we got proof. Have you got to pay a deposit for that? Or they just trust you with it?
No, I just trust you with it.
I guess you never leave the town, do you? Go far. Like Garfield. Right, so Survivor Series 1989. I mentioned that this was a year before I was born, but we didn't get these tapes until quite late. I think I got these like 96, 97. I think would have got this on Blockbuster back in the day. It was had just over 15,000 attendance, which for nowadays would probably be a decent house. You'd imagine. Yeah, AEW, well, 3,000. WWE 20,000 for Big Show. So apparently it was the lowest bought pay-per-view for the year,
Wow.
/ potentially just maybe the second lowest, but they didn't have many back then, did they, in the 80s? There was like 3 or 4 a
Yeah,
year.
and then throw it on Thanksgiving night too. I mean, that
Yeah.
kind of There's football going on here in America on Thanksgiving. That's a tradition. And there's just so much other stuff going on. So it makes sense. Survivor Series in general would have been the lowest buyout.
It's
Yeah.
the Rosemont Horizon. You ever been to Rosemont before there, Mikey?
No, and I think it's called the All-State Arena
All
now. I
State
know they
Arena.
have
It's
some
changed.
some
Yeah.
lower tier hockey teams and basketball teams that play there, some concerts. I think the Survivor Series was probably the greatest thing that's ever happened at that arena, but I'm a little biased.
Unless
So
until they combined. Remember the wrestling hockey game they had in the early 90s? That's what they got the idea from. Maybe that was a new statement. This was the third annual Survivor Series too. Everyone started off with the thankful. Everyone's thankful for stuff on there. It was a mixed bag, wasn't it? It was all very shouty. Hogan started it off just lovely. Dusty Rhodes thankful for polka dots.
What I thankful for Thanksgiving? For my polka dots!
For years, I didn't understand what he said there. I thought he said blah, blah, blah.
You're
I
not,
couldn't
you're not
understand
far
that he
off
said
it.
polka dots as a kid. It didn't occur to me.
I am today years old then when I found that out because I watched it the other day and I was like, I still don't know. Wow,
Thankful for his
okay.
polka dots.
that's funny. The
That's
the
a
one
bit
I
of a
got
tribe,
caught
isn't
up
it?
on, the one I got caught up on was Roddy Piper
Mm.
when he said I couldn't catch what he said,
He said, "I'm
like
thankful."
Ricky Rude,
Ricky
but
Rude.
Ricky Rude. But then like some of them were just a bit. Warrior went off on one, didn't he? Do you reckon the
Has
rest
to.
of them had to like cut it off a little bit because he went on for about a good minute, just absolute
I thought his was
bullshit.
quite reserved by his standards, to be
Just
honest with you.
mental. It was mental.
Yeah.
it was cool. They started it off with Hogan, ended it with Ultimate Warrior, and everything in between, was just kind of, I'm Mikey Cheese, and I'm thankful for my cheese. And it's
Yeah.
like Hogan and Warrior really set it off, though, I think.
Bobby Heenan couldn't be asked. I don't think he was just thankful for the Heenan family when he bless him.
Yeah.
Red Rooster was one of the first people on there, from the first teams that come out. We'll go through the actual the teams, but I think Red Rooster is one of my weird things in wrestling. The Red Rooster, because I always thought the Ric Flair Hasbro was Red Rooster for a good number of years. I thought it was a big deal. I was like, this guy's he's got his own figure. He's got a bit of red streak, he must be the tits. He's shit. So Red Rooster, Brutus Beefcake, Dusty Rhodes, and Tito Santana formed the Dream Team, and they're up against the Enforcers, which was Big Boss Man, Brad News Brown, Rick Martel, and the Honky Tonk Man, Jimmy Hart, and Slick at the ringside. I believe that Bad News Brown replaced Akeem last minute, like for
Yeah.
like, black person for a black person, I guess. But yeah, I think it was a bit of a weird dynamic, the match. I think Rick Martel, for me, was the MVP of the match. I think he was fantastic from start to finish. Mikey?
So I'm a big fan of Honky Tonk, in particular in this match, and I remember this from my childhood. I don't remember who was giving it, but somebody gave him a sunset flip, and he was selling, selling, selling,
Oh,
selling,
yeah.
selling. At one point, he just
Even
gave
though,
up
right?
and went. And
Yeah.
the theatrics from the heels in this whole pay-per-view was incredible and really something that I'm still to this day like enthralled with. The selling is really good.
We had a question a few weeks back about like what our favorite match from the Golden Era was. I'll say I picked a match for this pay-per-view because I don't think this for a Survivor Series this was perfect for like the style of matches. I don't think there was too many Survivor Series based matches. I don't think there was too many gimmicks in there. I think everyone got enough time to show what they could do. And I think as a kid, I used to love that sort of thing where it would be loads of people on a pay-per-view. You see everyone and everyone gets a time to shine, except for maybe Andre. I think maybe it's a bit of a bit of a difference. But yeah, I think Honky was great for our Jimmy Hart was amazing as well on the outside. He wasn't too overpowering.
I was going to say, I think Jimmy Hart's one of the MVPs of this whole show. He really sort of sells the idea of the heels being in jeopardy or telling them what to do over the megaphone that's in this match and the second match. Just brilliant. Like there was so much urgency that I think someone was about to get a tag, and he's like, "Get him, get him, get him, get him, get back!" And like so he was really involved, and it made it more dramatic. He
Is
did
that
really well this
was
night.
was this because it was Martel? Is it Rumble 90 where you had the long entrance into it? Yeah, he was in the Rumble 90 for a good
91.
He won,
91. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So this is a year
Yeah.
and a few months before. So I think he was on this is not long after Strikeforce. I would assume, what, 2 years or so after Strikeforce? Because him and Tito had great chemistry.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it was that year they broke up. Wasn't
Oh,
it?
that year was it?
Yeah. So they were, Tito and him, I suppose, was still eking out their feud by this point. So it's quite
Yeah.
good to see him still, trying to. It's one thing I noticed about this Survivor Series in particular is they really did drag some of the storylines out. We'll get into a few of them, I'm sure, as we go through. But ones that really kind of were kicking off around WrestleMania and they're still there late in the year, worked back in the day. And I think they kind of helped tie these matches together with some relevancy. They weren't just a bunch of randoms kind of thrown together. There was actually stories being told in each of these, which is even in this first one, which on paper looks random as hell.
Yeah. From a mixed bag, isn't it? Like a Haribo packet. Yeah, I think obviously the actual match itself, Boss Man was really good throughout it. I thought they did one of the laziest Boss Man sounds I've ever seen. I think it was more of an STF or an ST rock bottom.
On the Red Rooster.
I was going to say
Yeah.
Red Rooster.
Yeah.
It was more of a clothesline that sort of just fell on the poor guy.
Yeah, needed the commentators to kind of, was it Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura?
Yeah, it's Gorilla and
They
Jesse.
really had to make something of that to notice it was,
But like the match itself, it went on for a decent while. In total, I think, as I say, everyone got a good couple of minutes in there just to put a bit of shine on there. Honky Tonk, as you said, just was a great heel because he's not far off the long IC title run from this point, was he?
Yeah.
This is sort of the back end of it. Ends with Rhodes pinning Bossman with a crossbody before they beat the shit out of him afterwards. Bless him. Dusty Rhodes is a character, isn't he? You sort of don't realize back then how good Dusty was for a big man until now.
So there was one point during that match where Big Boss Man and Bad News Brown were bickering, going at it, and you can see Dusty in the background jumping, telling him, hit him, get him. And just all the animations that he was a part of back in the days. Yeah, you do forget about it until you rewatch it and you're like, man, Dusty was freaking good.
All you ever hear about is the Hard Times promo. I think a lot of the time if you sort of forget how good Dusty is in the ring, as well as just the little small details. Sapphire on the outside as well, just looking lovely.
Yeah, that version of Dusty, I only knew polka dots growing up.
Same.
Like that was the shit, and I loved it. I don't now as an adult looking back on it, hearing the stories, I question like why was it that big of a deal? People were shitting on this character. The fans loved it. I mean, Dusty seemed like he was loving it when he was doing it. I don't know if it's just because he was hiding it well, but yeah, I mean, it's an over the top thing. The dancing, the juking, the jiving. A guy that's in that kind of shape, like I am so embarrassed. I try to cover myself up as much as I can, but Dusty, man, he wears it with pride.
Was it right? Yes. Also, we got Hasbro of the Dusty in this similar attire. We also got do we get an elite? We got the Legends elites in in the polka dot attire. I think we got a few recent ones as well.
Yeah, the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah,
That was something I was thinking about during this show. Is like a lot of the outfits that they wore that throughout the whole show are quite iconic, and they have been made into figures of even Hasbro or retros or even elites and stuff. They are the sort of costumes you most associate with these wrestlers for the most part.
I think the only one that maybe hasn't got a retro by a company would be Red Rooster, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah, during the show.
And now that you said that about Ric Flair, I'm like, that is the perfect body. So my gears are already going. I'm gonna start making a custom for sure. So
yeah, there's a kid because my mum used to have this friend who had a son. He also collected Hasbro's, and he had a couple, but he had a Ric Flair. It's the RF on the tights as well because it looks like an RR. So I always just assumed, and the same with the boots as well on the Flair figure. So always just assumed it was Red Rooster because I'd only seen up to 90 because that's all we had in the video stores. So I missed the whole Ric Flair thing for a good while. Obviously, I got Rumble 92 after a while. Obviously, he was in the black for that one, wasn't he?
To be fair, that figure probably more closely resembles Red Rooster than Ric
Yeah.
Flair. It's an awful figure.
It was closer to my nan, I think. Yeah, the nasty attack after the match, which busted poor Dusty open, didn't it? But as you said, Bad News Brown also fucked off halfway through the match as well. He didn't look like he wanted to be there during the match, if I'm honest.
I've got a bit of an issue with the way that he left that match because it was exactly the same as what he did in '88. Like, could you think of nothing more?
So I think that's just how it works. That's like his thing. I wish like Bad News Brown had actually stayed a bit longer and just done that every single year. It would have just been hilarious.
He was on the front cover of a Rumble one year, or the back of a Rumble. There's a little picture of him being angry on there. I remember thinking, he's a bastard, isn't he? Look at him. He's bad news. Next up was the 4x4s versus the King's Court. What a promo before. Bret Hart didn't look the most comfortable during the 4x4s promo. Paul Hacksaw had one eye on Christmas, one eye on Thanksgiving, didn't he? That's his cotton socks all over the shop. Come up to no music, Hacksaw. Which I thought was weird.
And for you guys that had the VHS, do you remember these promos being on the VHS?
I definitely remembered that one. Yeah.
I don't think I remember the 4x4s.
I sort of remember. I remember the Bushwhackers one for sure.
I remember most of the others, yeah. Just maybe not that one.
I remember Ronnie Garvin. He didn't do much, so I'd say the promo probably would have been on there.
I can't remember that. That's the only thing I don't really remember, that promo.
Make sure you buy the Epic Toys one when that comes out. Definitely remember Ronnie Garvin. He was brilliant. Definitely buy his toy.
I remember the rest, I just don't remember the promo.
Yeah, the King. Yeah, he's forgettable. King's Court was Randy Savage, Canadian Earthquake, not to be confused with John Tenter himself. Dino Bravo and Greg Valentine with Jimmy Hart and Queen Sherry. Jimmy Hart right in the back, quick change, out he comes again. They beat the 4x4s, Jim Duggan, Bret Hart, Ronnie Garvin, and Hercules. Earthquake was 26 years old.
Yeah.
26 during this.
Holy shit.
That's age.
Let us all feel a bit better about ourselves, shall we?
Age, IQ, and BMI, I imagine.
I have that one playing right now. It's off on the side here, and I'm looking at him and like, for 26,
26.
That's 26. A rough 26.
In England, we got this thing called Challenge 25, where if you look a little bit over 18, they'll ID you. That motherfucker wasn't getting ID'd from age 12, was he? The size of him. Rough paper round for our Earthquake. Yeah.
Can I say something about this match?
Yeah.
Before you get into the actual
That's what we're here for, Mikey.
The idea that these four men were in back, all brutal, roided up, drugged out of their minds, probably going, "Oh, we're gonna go out there, we're gonna call it in the ring, whatever." But they went over this spot. I know they did. They went over the 2x4 tossing spot, and they're like, "This is gonna be fucking great. Let's practice it." And then they get out there and they completely fumble the ball with it. And like, yeah, what a fucking weird thing. Like, I know all those guys are like, "This is gonna be fucking cool."
Did they stand there with them all like held into the center or something? I completely missed that the first time around.
Yeah.
I watched it the other day and they all just stood there like in a circle as if they're putting swords together or whatever.
So weird. But hey, that's the 4x4s for
you.
Classic 4x4s.
That's the 16s.
I mean, as a question as a British guy to an American guy, what is a 2x4? We don't ever hear that term over here.
It's a dimensional. It's a dimensional piece of lumber. So typically, you're never going to buy a 2x4 that small. There would be a 2x4 by 8. It's 2 inches by 4 inches by 8 feet. And that's typically what we're using for dimensional builds for sheds and any outdoor products.
So is that like a common term over there?
Yeah, it's common term over here. I got a friend who's a carpenter, and he says he says 2x4. That's what he says.
2x4.
It's Cornish. Yeah, they're lazy. And they talk. He says,
I think I was just on that website before this podcast. Actually, 2x4.
2x4. Yeah, so you call it a 2x4. So there's but he has said it before, and I was like, "Oh, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He doesn't watch wrestling. No idea what I was on about." I didn't show him this match. But yeah, the Macho steam hits, but there's no music for Hacksaw when he comes out. They all just sort of wait for a bit, and then it all just kicks off. There's a drop kick, Haku, and just kicks off from there, doesn't it?
That was
the last one, wasn't it?
That was the last one. Sorry, there wasn't there's just no music. Just the music.
I find out because Jim Duggan except when he was the king, at this point he didn't have entrance music. And I thought it was really odd for the whole team to come out with that one. When, I mean, you could have used Bret Hart's one if you needed
Yeah,
to,
just
for
even just
example.
shout or anything. Just
Whatever. Yeah.
shout two
So
before.
actually, does anybody know why they split up Anvil and Brett? Why Brett was in this match and Anvil was in the other?
No, but I was going to say I love the fact that they did this because does it give Bret Hart time to shine on his own?
Oh,
Yeah,
and
I
man,
think
somebody
Brett
like
did.
Macho Man. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's all right. Brett did sort of request to go on a bit of a singles role at the time, so they did split them up briefly around at the end of '89, and then they got back together around WrestleMania 6, and then went on to, get the titles from Demolition and until the final breakup. So yeah, they had a bit of a break here.
Okay, that makes sense.
Seemed like an odd choice when you got all the other teams still together, and then they decided to split them. But...
That's what I was thinking.
Broken Hearts is right there, guys. It's just
Watching this match and watching how when Macho Man comes in and he's paired off with Bret Hart, the way that Macho Man sells, like, oh man, this is a formidable foe. Like Macho Man really put it over. And again, right after that interaction, they have another interaction later in the match. Macho Man's up on the corner and he's like, he's taking Bret Hart on like a serious contender, which back in the day, it was not guys like Bret Hart. It was the bigger guys. It was Hogan, Warrior, even Hercules in this case. But the one other thing from this match that I really loved, Hacksaw Jim Duggan is a Glens Falls guy. I'm from Glens Falls. It's a big pop whenever somebody says from Glens Falls, New York. There's a ho right after it. When Duggan clears the ring towards the end of this match, Macho Man comes off with a double axe. He catches him. Dino comes in. He catches him, throws him into the corner. Anyway, the ring clears. Duggan just fucking stomps around, puts the thumb up. The cameras were shaking. That's how nuts the place was going. Everybody, like, it's a goosebumps moment. Like, I don't know, probably see it. It's a goosebumps moment where, like, the whole entire arena just erupted for Duggan. This, like, in the grand scheme of things, not the biggest superstar back in the day. But for a Glens Falls guys, it felt good, man.
he's always he never really achieved massive things, does he? But I think for someone that only got to the level that he did, he's still now like when they used to say Duggan and when he used to do like a random Raw appearances, he used to always get a big ovation.
Pop him onto any independent show right now. As soon as he says USA, the crowd is with him. The whole crowd will chant
no
it
matter what
after.
country they're in. Do it in Iraq.
No.
They'll still do it.
I
That was awesome at
can
Wembley.
I can vouch for that. Well, about 4 or 5 years ago, I went to see Jim Duggan at an indie show over here. It was in a leisure centre. Probably only a couple of hundred people, but yeah, he got the biggest pop of the night, and we were all doing that. Like we're in Paynton, and we're saying,
It's a good zoo,
USA.
good zoo there.
But yeah, it was great. He's still got that appeal.
Even after his WCW run.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean about that Macho Man. Him and Bret Hart were levels above, I think, in the ring compared to anyone else in the match. You can just see it. Macho did a good move. I think it was on Duggan where he had the back of his head and jumped over the ropes to catch his neck. Which you look at it now and you're like, oh, it's like a standard heel move. But back then, it was just something you never really saw, and he was so quick and just everything was so deliberate that he did. It was just. I don't know. You just tell he was levels above who was in the ring with.
Yeah, I always wanted to do that move, but I always kept on bottling it because it's deceptively a long distance from the top rope to the bottom on the floor, and then you're like looking down, like, nah, maybe not.
It's
But,
also it was like sort of getting clothesline over the rope. You don't realize how bad that is until like that's why Kurt Angle does the tilt, isn't it? When he gets clotheslined over, is because you don't realize how far the drop is.
Yeah, it's one of getting clothesline backwards out of the ring. It's like if you do it once, you're fine, but it's getting that one time done, and then it's just like you think about it too much. But once you've done it, it's like it's okay because you know you're going to be okay. It's a strange one.
It's like getting pegged.
Yeah.
Valentine, I've got here. He smacked the shit out of Garvin quite a few times. Beat him up, poor Ronnie.
The back and forth chops with these guys, I get sick to my stomach. So again, I've wrestled for 24 years. I get sick to my stomach when I see guys give a decent chop, no sell it, and just wait. Take a chop, man, they were fucking hammering each other, and there was no like waiting, there was registering and selling. And those are some brutal fucking shots. Nowadays, that would have the place going nuts.
There was one in particular he caught him quite high up on the chest, almost throat like. Poor Ronnie. Which was just and Valentine's hair. Valentine, was he in his Hasbro gear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Similar.
Yeah. Even with the hammer jammer.
Yeah. With the little
Although the hammer jammer is black on the Hasbro was blue in this match.
Nah, it's the same thing, isn't it? Kind of lines. Young Shane McMahon on the outside. Have you guys clocked
I noticed that, yeah.
Poor Shane? Little Shane on there, his little poofy hair. Whilst his sister was being sold as a 14-year-old in the magazines. There's Shane. Macho was probably waiting for her, wasn't he? The fastest count out I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, Danny Davis he's on the heel side for sure. I mean,
he
this
didn't give a
bullshit.
shit, did he? He couldn't even count to 10 quick enough. It was just straight. And last man standing wouldn't last 10 seconds, though, Danny.
I think Macho Man did threaten him, to be fair.
Oh, well, I'm taking a serving like a prick.
I was just wondering about, like, I think they mentioned it during the end of this match, and it's like, oh, this match could end in a draw. And I was thinking, has there ever been a Survivor Series match that ended in a draw? I don't think there has been.
No, Ric Flair won it, didn't he, when he was in the ring?
Yeah. I don't think there has been.
Must have been
Can't
one.
think of any that I saw. I mean, none of the events. I watched them up till about 2000, 2001, and I can't think of any.
No.
Inclusive.
But Hercules got proper sat on gooch to the face, didn't he?
Yeah.
Someone had to take that.
He
was out so quick. He must have just said, "Oh, get me rid of me. I want a quiet night."
Yeah, on a quiet night, just shove your ass on my face, and I'll be off. That's all I need sometimes, just that. So Savage did one of the better elbow drops on Bret Hart as well. He laid it in.
You're talking about two guys there who really give it and sell it. I think Bret Hart is one of the best sellers ever. You want to get a heel over and make something look like it hurt and everything. Yeah, you can trust him to do that. And but I think, like you were saying earlier, the Savage Hart program in this match was really the highlight, and it made Bret stand out as someone who was taken as a bit of a threat.
Big deal.
For Savage to put him away with a brutal elbow drop did nothing to hurt Bret Hart in this match at all, because it was almost like he had to give his all to get rid of him. And
it's definitely a better way to go than having Earthquake's arsehole in your face or being counted out. One of the either or.
Yeah, there's another thing for Bret. Jesse Ventura puts him over very big as well, and that's quite unusual for the heel commentator to do that. I don't think he really does that much else with many other baby faces, to be honest. I think it's just Bret.
Yeah.
It sounded like that was a respect for Stu Hart too, because I know we mentioned Stu during that, and even back then though, that was something like you said, you didn't really hear about Stu Hart. So if somebody like Jesse Ventura, that might be the first introduction to who's this Stu Hart guy, So that was pretty cool for sure.
I've had I think I mentioned before to you, Johnny. I had this VHS, which was the world's greatest steel cage matches. I think it was. Picture of Hogan on the front with the big blue just before the Zeus match, I think, and it had Bret Hart, Anvil, and Honky Tonk Man in a 6-man tag. Pretty sure against maybe Strike Force. Yeah.
Randy Savage, I think.
Randy Savage, it was. Yeah. So I went from watching that, which was late, was 87, 86-ish, to then watching this after. This was the next VHS tape I got as a kid. And the difference in Bret Hart between then and this is massive in the space of, it must have been 3 years, I think, because Honky's one of the bigger heels at the time.
Yeah, two years apart there, I think.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's 87. It sounds like, because Savage turned face, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even then, I think Bret Hart and Savage had good chemistry then, whereas I think this was a different. Did they ever have like a full one-on-one?
Yeah, it was that Saturday night's main event for sure. It had a one-on-one.
There we go. You can watch that. Yeah, with the next one.
A pay-per-view on they really could have done something big on a pay-per-view. Even just after I think WrestleMania 10, they had like a house show match, and I remember seeing about it in one of the independent magazines where they had photos. I was like, well, first of all, they're two good guys going against each other, and when they have this happen kind of thing, I think they missed a trick there.
Well, Mania 10, Savage was like winding down on commentary, wasn't he? And he just beat Crush, but then you had Brett, who's the world champion, wasn't he? But next up, we got the Hulkamaniacs, which was Hulk Hogan, Jake Roberts, Axe and Smash, and they faced the $1 Million Team, Ted DiBiase, the Warlord, the Barbarian, and Zeus. These were the cover stars on the VHS. And I think if you're going to put people to sell a VHS, I think these 8 are amazing for it. The size of them, the colourful with Demolition, Powers of Pain. You got Hogan in the middle, just looking massive. You got Jake there, who once again gave one of the creepier thankful things at the start. He was like, I'm thankful for my DDT and my snake. And little porn music in the background, little mustache. But yeah, I think this was used as the main event, but it was only halfway through the show. Demolition on this were great. Axe didn't shave the back of his legs though. I was saying that was a bit off-putting. It was like watching a spider wrestle. It was only the back of his legs though. Everything else was lovely and smooth.
Something about his hair at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had this
the poofy snake from Simpsons haircut. Well, he said, didn't he? Because I messaged him and was like, "Walk on with this," and he said it was the last day at the office basically, and he just couldn't be fucked. He was only in it for a minute before he was getting pinned, so he was like, "I couldn't be bothered to do it."
I would say about this match, after watching it back, it made interesting viewing for the fact that it was halfway through the show, but it did create that nice kind of break almost, I think. I don't know, having it right at the end. They were bigging up the Warrior. They needed his one to be at the end.
Yeah.
I think you could see he was coming through. On paper, one of the probably strongest, I'm not a massive Hogan fan, but for this era, one of the strongest Survivor Series teams ever.
I think they all got their own entrance themes as well, which a lot of the teams didn't. A lot of them had one song and they all came out to that.
Yeah.
Whereas they all got their own entrance. I imagine Rick Derringer was probably straight to the bank after this, wasn't he? But Jake's theme is a banger, as well as Demolition's, as well as Hogan's. So I think having that high one after the other, and then Hogan comes out and eclipses the rest of them, doesn't he?
Yeah, I really think that was a great. It's a great image. Yeah, it's a great one to have on the front of the cassette. I remember seeing that, and I was like, firstly, when the hell did Demolition team with Hulk Hogan? I didn't know this card until I saw the VHS. The match itself, though, I mean, yeah, I side with Jesse Ventura. It was a great match for Jesse Ventura to really come through as, not liking Hulk Hogan very much, because so many flimsy decisions in this one.
He had every reason to question that.
Yeah.
It was very weird book in terms of trying to get a babyface over.
Well, yeah. It's just count outs and disqualifications all over the place.
There was a lot of advertising for the Hogan's big match with Zeus, though, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I think, and that was. I want to say that El Hebner was very lenient with Zeus. I'll say that. I think nowadays it would be the 5 count and that's it. Whereas he had a 5 count, a push against the ropes, another 5 count, and another push against the ropes.
To be fair, Earl did a couple of sleepers on him, so it was kind of like tit for tat.
Imagine that did much damage, did it? Clefairy versus Snorlax. One winner there, isn't you? Any Pokemon fans in? Yeah, I think Zeus itself looked massive. They didn't have an entrance though, $1 Million Team, which I sort of feel ruined it. They sort of just in the ring. Just a bit of a damp squid, wasn't it?
He didn't have music at that point.
Do you know? Not have his little money.
Not yet, no.
Boring. He didn't have a title, did he? I don't think Warlord and Barbarian did at this point. Zeus didn't.
They used to have entrance music when they were good guys, and then they seemed to get rid of it. It's just really weird.
Yeah.
Any of you shit your pants when you first saw Zeus back in the day?
Not really.
Dan probably did.
I did. Back in that Steel Cage tape I was telling you about was Hogan boss man, and Zeus was on the steps and beat the shit out of him. Do you know the picture? So it's Hogan boss man. Hogan's coming to the ring. Zeus is stood on the stairs by the cage, and he's fucking massive. Yeah, beats the fuck out of him. And yeah, as a kid, I was just like, "That's a scary man." Then I watched Friday, and I was like, "Oh, he is beatable. That's fine."
I did like Zeus when he came back to the WWE as Ezekiel Jackson, I believe it was, years later. That was incredible running that day.
Can't believe he
Was-
left the can't believe they left the big boss man earlier as well.
You guys were talking about those. I mean, there was some bullshit decisions to get guys out. The double disqualification to get
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Warlord and Barbarian out.
Yeah,
While I don't like that, I do appreciate that somebody like Axe gets tripped up, gets a little elbow dropped on him, 1, 2, 3, he's out of there. Like
the
that, there
the
was some
the,
surprise out of
Yeah.
nowhere
the trip looked pretty
eliminations.
gnarly though, didn't it? I think he
Well,
sold the trip really well.
yeah, and he
The
made sure to
trip.
hit the right ropes too, because he was
Yeah, he
going
hit
this way, but
those.
he's like, "Nah, fuck it, I am gonna go this way."
It's no, I think we call him Lynx in England, Axe, don't we? Because
Yeah.
yeah, Axe is a deodorant in America. Am I right in saying that, Mikey?
I know we hear a lot like, "Let me ask you a question" over here, so that's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
thing. I
Axe
don't know.
hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
in total, I think Zeus went out first by DQ. Then you had Axe to Smash, who got eliminated by pinfall. It's just left poor Hogan and Jake just to fight him off. Which how's Hogan gonna do it? Oh no! And then yeah, the double DQ happened, which, as you said, was bullshit. Oh, Hebner's used to that, and he bloody dodgy bastard. And then poor Jake went out from pinfall. And then Hogan just battered Ted. I think as soon as it's Hogan v Ted, he didn't really have a chance, does he?
It's pretty textbook Hogan finish that one.
I'm surprised it wasn't 1-on-4. If I'm honest, he didn't go full Randy Orton and just fuck them all up. But all in all, yeah, it was just textbook Hogan. I think he did well. He popped the crowd, did his usual stuff, posed like it was the main event. You can all go home now. Sort of 2 more matches afterwards, though. Bless him. Next up, we had the Rude Brood, Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect, Jacques, and Raymond Rougeau. The Genius and Jimmy Hart at ring. So the Genius did a poem as well earlier in the night, which I always find weird. He never really says too many Hill stuff, but it's just sort of does a poem.
Mhm.
It's not like he doesn't. He does slate the town a little bit, but doesn't start off with it. It takes a while to build up to it, and by that point, everyone's like, "You wanker."
So
Poems are shit.
I wrestled the Genius, obviously, a while ago, and we were in the back just talking about some stuff. It was in a tag match, so I didn't have like a one-on-one interaction with him. But I came up with a poem while I was riding there, and it was something about him eating all the donuts off the shelf because he was pretty fat at this point in his career. And so I did it in his voice as best as I could. And I went over it with him, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do that tonight." And I'm like, "Okay." But it's fun because
Doesn't work
I'm
for me,
watching
brother.
this. Yeah, I'm watching this pay-per-view, and I'm like, I wrestled Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I wrestled the Genius. I had backstage antics with Superfly Jimmy Snuka. I had in-ring stuff with Bret Hart. As I'm watching this, and I'm going back to like my childhood and realizing like, holy shit, would I have thought that I would have these interactions with these superstars that I was just going in complete awe over? And it's really humbling to like look back on that now. And there was other interactions that I've had with guys too, but like it's just such a cool thing that these still are my heroes. You know, it's wild.
You weren't
That
Snuka's
is
alibi.
amazing.
You weren't Snuka's alibi, were you? Bless
Yeah.
him.
So there's a weird thing about that too. We were at a house show in Albany, New York, and Tamina was in the ring, and there was a very uh, low moment in the crowd where there was no noise, and I was drunk off my ass, and I said something about your father's a fucking murderer, and like I didn't realize how well I projected because she just fucking quick eyes right on me, and I was just like pointing to this guy over here, like this fucking. And dude, I was red faced the whole time, embarrassed as shit. Obviously, when you're drunk, you do stupid stuff. Uh, but yeah, that was a weird fucking thing.
Not as stupid
And
as murder, though, I guess.
that's true. Yeah.
How stupid you get. I feel that murder's probably one step beyond. Um, no one's meaner than Tamina, except her dad, who did the murder. Anyway, he took out Jacques Rougeau first. There was a bit of a promo beforehand with waving their little lovely flags. Rick Rude's tights, had to make a special announcement to, a little shout out to as well. They were perfect.
They're
Oh, yeah.
great. I didn't-
Every single member. I do have a quick note. I noticed that Rick Rude's music was changed for the Netflix broadcast. I really don't know why. Like everyone else
It's
is
more of like a
as they were.
dance music. I feel like someone's
I
come out
thought
for little
that,
tassels.
yeah.
Yeah. I haven't
Yeah.
watched because this was on YouTube as well, as Mikey pointed out. They just uploaded it the other day, which is annoying because I was going to slip in videos into here, but if they put it on YouTube, they can copyright mine. You wankers. So yeah, I don't know if it's changed on there, but they've put like a sort
Well,
of equivalent of that.
that was his sort of music, wasn't it?
May
I don't
Young,
actually know
May
what
Young Rumble 2000.
it was just not all right, and it's sort of like because I'd watched it that many times, I was like, this doesn't sound right. This didn't happen on the VHS. So it was really took me back, and it was surprising that it was that one. Like it wasn't like a licensed one like the Demolition or Hulk Hogan or I mean like Demolition did get previously that was sort of like cut from networks and stuff, wasn't it? But yeah, it's a weird one to have changed.
Yeah, the old concussion will do that to him, won't it? Listen. Roddy Piper, I think as a kid, I used to be a massive Piper fan around this sort of era. Only because of how he looked like outside the ring. He used to have like the bright color shirts. Obviously, our shirt that Mikey's wearing there is a bit of a homage to the Piper's shirt, the kilts and so on. But then when he gets in the ring, I remember watching Rumble 92 and just thinking he was just a skinny version of Hacksaw because he's just both exactly the same. It's a shame they didn't like spruce up his attire in the ring to make him stand out a bit more.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a confession about Piper. When I first seen him, I thought it was a woman.
Was
And
it
like
the
I think
SummerSlam
the first
Virgil?
time I did see him was WrestleMania 7, and he had a broken leg, and he was just in his kilt, and he was getting kicked about by Ted DiBiase. And I think why is he hurting this woman? And so I really hated DiBiase for doing it.
Challenging wank in it.
I was never a massive Piper fan. I must
Oh,
admit.
this is
I
great.
preferred him more on the mic, but in the ring.
Yeah. To be fair, I can agree on the mic because obviously Piper's Pit was amazing. But WrestleMania 12, the match with Goldust was like, that was lovely putting that together and watching
And
that.
he beat the shit out of him.
Because that's what I
during that
mean.
So
match.
give him a
It's
baseball
lovely.
bat and a Cadillac and everything. He's a bit more interesting. But...
And like, yeah, so I mean that and kissing Goldust, being like, I don't
Yeah.
care how bizarre this guy is, I'm gonna one up him. It was just lovely. He should be the gay icon that we need. Fuck you, RuPaul. Roddy Piper did it first. But yeah, I think it was the whole Roddy Piper's aura. I think during the entrance was really good.
Although he's great here, I've got a bit of a confession, and
You're full
maybe
of
like one of
confessions
those like
today, aren't you? The Catholic
unpopular
Church.
opinions. I say it's more of an unpopular opinion, but I think Roddy Piper talks more nonsense than the Ultimate Warrior does. His promos make
But it
no
sounds
sense.
smarter. It sounds smarter than he
It
does.
sounds smarter,
Yeah.
but actually, when you listen to it, it's not really.
I was watching was it SummerSlam 92? No, it was something around 92 and they bought Piper. Was it SummerSlam 92 and they bought Piper out for literally no
Yeah.
reason?
Play the bagpipes and that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he just come out. He the fakest thing I've ever seen. That man has never,
Yeah.
never played bagpipes in his fucking life. We've never been to Scotland either. Where was he in the football last night? Where was we seen? But yeah, the promo beforehand, the Rougeos were there with their tiny flags. It's a shame the Grapplers and Gimmicks ones didn't come with their own little tiny flags. That'd have been good. The Bushwhackers in the little thankful bit at the start were pretty good as well. They always kissed. Get you through some lonely nights.
Man, Roddy's Rowdies was such a great name for this team, though, because it was just four crazy fucking dudes that were off the wall with everything they did, their promos, their in-ring antics.
You would have been forgiven for thinking they were stable back then, and
Yeah.
not just the Survivor Series.
But if you did say which one of these four's done a murder, I'd point Snooker out in a second. That motherfucker right there. He's killed someone and hid it. He looks like a council estate mum. If you look at him, bless him. But yeah, I think the Bushwhackers are just, or not long signed before this. I think they mentioned it. I think Ventura might have brought it up and said that they were quite new.
I think they were there at the beginning of '89. They were in the Rumble, I believe.
No, well, Ventura was
sort of
wrong.
late
then.
'88 they came in, I think. Yeah,
A year's not
Fairly
long,
early
I guess.
on. Yeah.
Not long. But yeah, this is Snooker took out Jacques Rougeau first, and then Roddy Piper took out Raymond, so they were just down to the 4-on-2, and then the Bushwhackers decided just to fuck off. Mr. Perfect in this was I'll say a cut above the rest in the ring, but he was really good.
Yeah.
I think yeah, he was like, if you're gonna put a perfect Survivor Series team together, I think he'd have to be up there because he was just, I think he was just all over the place in this. It was really good, impressive. Have we got a figure in the green?
Good question. Is there maybe one with the green singlet as a like a fabric? Maybe.
So
Well,
one,
there's a
this one of the superstar
superstars,
ones. Yeah.
superstars.
Yeah, that's
That's
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, superstars because you take it off and it becomes NWA Kurt Hennig, I think
probably. Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah.
It's good all around. And then Rick Rude and Roddy Piper just hate each other so much. They had a double count out, just couldn't resist beating the shit out of each other. And then Mr. Perfect and Jimmy Snuka had time to shine. And Perfect once again was just, yeah, he just stole the show here. And I think it just made sense for the finish. He was being pushed. He was undefeated at the time as well.
And it's a clean finish,
And a clean
Yeah.
finish. Yeah.
which, is that kind of a rarity with these kind of things for the heels to get a clean win like that at the end.
Especially with people on the outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
As listed as the sole survivor. There was a lot of sole survivors during this. I think obviously the first two matches you had two in Beefcake and Dusty, and then you had Savage, Dino Bravo, and Earthquake in the second one, and then we had a couple sole survivors here. There was also a little promo in between where Hogan was chatting to Beefcake about Zeus and Macho, and obviously that set up then being on the outside because they had a match at SummerSlam a few months prior, didn't they?
Yeah.
Which were 5 stars in the arena. What a match. And then you come through to the main event, which Warrior, I think, gave once again another one of his promos of Jim Neidhart, Shawn Michaels, and Molly Jannetty. You mentioned at the start about the colors, Mikey. This match sort of had everything. Didn't it?
Beautiful. Yeah. All pink. Jim Neidhart was awesome. Warrior as always.
And the Rockers were just everywhere, weren't they? Just had all the colors you could think of, dressed like Johnny.
Speaking of that promo and speaking of the VHS, for some reason they cut off Anvil's bit of the promo.
Yes,
I
I noticed
don't
that.
really know. You noticed that as well, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know why because I think all he said was like, "I hope we didn't ruin your cake and ice cream."
Yeah.
You
And
know,
I was
like
sat there
it
thinking,
wasn't
where
anything
do,
offensive.
I watched it last night and I thought he's not mentioned the ice cream, and that just instantly
Yeah.
took me back. I was like, that a bit like you said about Rick Rude's music. That didn't sound right.
I hope Jimmy Snuka doesn't do a murder.
Yeah, well,
Cut that out.
go back to the VHS. He probably.
Well, yeah, the tag classics are normally your best way, aren't they? Because they need everything in. They do. I love it. Yeah, there's a bit of mention during the night as well because Bobby Heenan didn't come out with Rick Rude, and they were saying, "Oh, there's a bit of a hostile environment backstage with the Heenan family."
Ascension in the Heron family.
Yeah.
That was it. And then obviously Bobby came out for this one in his wrestling gear. He replaced
Tully Blanchard,
Tully
who
Blanchard,
got
who got
fired the day
released.
before. He
Yes,
got fired because of a failed drug test.
sounds like him. And his daughter.
Then
Is
lost
that
his.
Arn Anderson's last match as well?
We've
Was
been
he
around
gone?
about. I don't know if he had much longer, but they were both due to go back to NWO or WCW as a tag team. And because Tully got fired here, the booker who brought them in didn't want Tully, and then they offered Arn less money because he wasn't in this tag team with Tully, which he kind of had to take in the end. So I can't remember who the booker was. Might have been Heard, but yeah, proper stiffed Arn on the money coming back to WCW at that time.
Which,
Because of Tully.
it's felt a bit bad for Arn, didn't he? He's always liked Arn Anderson.
So good. In this match, he's really good. Probably the MVP of the match, I would say.
The second best spinebuster I saw him deliver. The best one I saw him actually was on Shawn Michaels the year before. Shawn Michaels can take an Arn Anderson spinebuster.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I do a spinebuster as part of my moveset, and to be honest, it almost exclusively is on the other guy who's taken it to how good it looks.
Yeah.
In my experience. So yeah, it's probably more to do with Shawn.
So one of my funnest moments in this match was with Bobby Heenan and commentary from Jesse Ventura. I don't know if you guys picked up on it. Heenan gets in, hits, I think, Marty in the gut, and then quickly gets out after Marty gives him, like, I don't know, whatever. But he kicks him in the gut, clearly. And Ventura goes like, "Oh yeah, that's how you do it right there." He got in, he kicked him in the nuts, and he got
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesse had
I
some
don't.
great line. Even before the match started, he was saying, "Oh, Anvil's getting beat up already." Well, it's clearly Anvil laying into Bobby Heenan, but Ventura's saying that Bobby's beating Anvil up. It was just a funny
It's a
way
very
of
odd
like,
start to the match. This is the one I think you were sort of
Yeah,
referring
it's all
to.
the
It just
Haku.
all
That
kicks
was it.
off
And
before the
then
Warrior gets there. It's like,
no music for Warrior either. It's just sort of
no.
sprints to the ring. It sprints to the ring, and obviously it all kicks off from there. Poor Andre gets close over the ropes, and then just can't get up. He's just too. But once go, quick count for Andre again.
I
Much
think
of
they
a
beat him
chance.
up on the outside too afterwards. Like,
Yeah, it's just fuck him up.
I wasn't the legal man.
Beached whale. Yeah, yeah. I guess there was two of them in the ring, wasn't there? When it all kicked
Not
off.
the way you want to see Andre go out, though, is it really?
No.
that was his
I-
last Survivor
Yeah.
Series. Was it his last match?
No,
No.
because he
No,
was there at WrestleMania 6 as well.
Oh
But
right,
so-
okay, yeah.
even when him
Haku.
and Haku
No.
were the tag team champs, he was rarely in the ring from what I remember during those matches.
So I
But he
remember
kind of
because
gave him a
he
little
help.
was a manager of the Bushwhackers for a bit when he had his crutch.
SummerSlam 91. He was in
Yeah,
their corner. He was there for British Bulldog for some of the UK tour as well. I think he ran out during
don't
that
get him on a
time.
flight. That's not what he needs, is it? He doesn't need to fly, Andre. Just needs to relax and sit down. He doesn't poor crutch and all sorts. But yeah, I think just all I know it was a bit of a messy start. Because did Warrior face Andre after this or before? Because they had a setting up to main event match, didn't they?
I'm gonna say it
Yeah,
was
been
before
around
this.
about probably before. It'd been in a program with Warrior at the time,
Yeah.
which is
I,
like a Survivor Series. It usually is who's in a program with who. You usually have like a main guy with a mid card guy in a tag team, and that I think the 4v4 works a lot better than the 5v5 for that reason because you can work all the current storylines into one match or as in this case 5 matches, but it's a really good way of telling stories, which I'm gutted they don't do anymore.
yeah, because 5v5 is just it just can get a bit clustered, especially on the outside as well. And they did the tag team ones for a couple of years, didn't they? And you just couldn't see anything.
I loved those.
Yeah,
But
on the premise they were great. It was just
I think I've managed to speak to a couple of guys who were actually on the show, the Survivor Series '88 one, and we talked about those matches, and they were like, you just could not do anything because there's too
no
many
time.
bodies.
Too many
You
guys,
just couldn't
yeah.
run the ropes or do anything decent. But I do love just for the humanity. Really, there's just so much going on.
It's the wrestling match equivalent of the Bonnie Blue queue, I imagine, isn't it?
Ugh.
If,
I did like the 5-on-5. Who will survive? Like there was that kind of
Yeah.
punchy like tagline with it. So the 4-on-4, you couldn't really
your mum's a
come
whore.
up with.
That's
Yeah.
They could have made something good of.
Yeah, that's I like the premise they did one year when they had the survivors put into a team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That was a good. So was that the year after this?
year after, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a good premise. Because you get to see like the stars again. So, but I guess it means that Hogan couldn't leave early if he wanted to, like he did for this one. Arn Anderson was 31 years old in this. He looked every fucking day of it, didn't he? Every day of it.
Just
He's
show,
been
just
40 his whole life.
Yeah.
just shows the routine they were in, doesn't it? Just literally on their faces, you can just
You can
see
see
his
years of
normal journey.
hurt. It's just.
I mean, I got it up on the screen right now, and Jamie, you could be fucking distant cousins or something. You and Arn Anderson here. You got a little Arn in you.
he had hair. A big
a
difference.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
he's still bald right here.
Oh yeah, that's true.
There
Yeah,
was
we could be distant cousins.
there was another fun spot in this match where he's trying to tag Bobby Heenan in,
Yeah.
and Bobby's having none of it on the
Yeah.
outside, and he
Yeah.
just casually turns Arn around and pushes him like, "Go, go, you get back in there. You got that." Fucking Bobby was the best, man.
Oh,
He was.
everything he did. It was a wrestling match. He made it work. So the other guy looked good, whilst at the same time just fitting his comedy spots in on commentary. Rumble
Yeah,
92,
unmatched.
Rumble
MVP.
92 is one of the finest.
Yeah, and I think the reason why
Works.
the pay-per-view is so good is the commentary is just
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
one of the most famous commentary shouts ever is during the barber shop with the Rockers
Yeah.
and Jannetty. He's trying to leave. He's trying to the coward.
Threw himself through the window.
WCW as well, where he was elevated by Bobby Heenan. There was just so many different things. Obviously, we had a similar figure to the Bobby Heenan here, the Legends in the Weasel suit. It was similar in the fact that you've got the singlet underneath, which was perfect. I'm just glad that Andre didn't carry on with the pants, otherwise Bobby would have copied that attire and don't need to see that, do you? Bless him. So yeah, all in all, I think the actual match itself was well worked, I guess. Once Andre went with the count out, I think the heels sort of took over. Bobby Heenan with a devastating move on Marty Jannetty to finish him off. Obviously, Haku took out Jim Neidhart too. Jim Neidhart in a similar attire to the WCW Revenge attire that you wore on that, the sort of pink, the old pink. There's any fans of that? Shawn Michaels was really good in this. I thought he sold quite well throughout the whole thing. Arn Anderson looked really good as well. So I'm surprised to hear that he went shortly after this because he stayed in. Well, it was 3-on-1, wasn't it, at the end? 2-on-1. Arn and Bobby versus Warrior.
There was some
Yeah, I
weird
mean,
bits when Warrior was trying to like come in and almost steal a spotlight. Like the Rockers came in for a double super kick and Warrior got in the ring to do nothing, but he was
Yeah,
just trying to
just
get
there.
to be a
Cheering him
part
on,
of it.
wasn't he?
Yeah, and then with Warrior, Sean going up to the top and him pushing him off. There was other things too. I'm like, I bet this wasn't like discussed. He's just like, I'm gonna go fucking be a part of this big spot. I'm gonna be a part of it. Like eh,
Yeah.
the stuff that he executed, he was there for. But anytime he was stagnant where he should just be selling on the apron, he was kind of obnoxious. Like,
It,
I don't
yeah,
know.
he dragged Shawn Michaels back into the ring when
Yeah.
he got past the outside as well. So that was making himself part of that instead of
Yeah.
being on the apron.
do you think he's got
But
ADHD?
what, the
A
Warrior
lot of
or
Yeah,
things.
Jim Duggan?
Warrior. He reeks of ADHD. If you look at him,
The character? Yeah.
or just in general. I mean, Jim might have it. You never know. He's got something. He's definitely got
Yeah,
something.
you could probably tell that they did have high hopes of Shawn Michaels because they gave him a good run in this match as well, as opposed to Marty Jannetty, who was out early on and let Shawn and do most of the work, to be honest.
A little bit of foreshadowing there with Brett and
Yeah.
Sean for sure.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
Just one steroid trial away from being used properly, aren't they? I used to feel bad for Warrior because obviously it would work quite a long match. Well, when he did the 1 out of 50 matches he did, but then his finishing moves looked quite strenuous. Like they're lifting up a big guy and dropping him and then going for a run. You'd be fucked, wouldn't you? Like, I'd be like, oh, do you have any pin match at WrestleMania 7 after the shoulder block and then just chucked him in the ring and pinned him? I reckon that wasn't a planned spot. He just went, I'm fucked, mate. I'm just gonna pin you and walk back. I can't be bothered. But yeah, he picked up Arn, who's not light, and then he just fucked up Bobby Heenan. Which once again, the little cat and mouse chase was good fun.
I love there's a spot there where he eliminates Arn Anderson, but Bobby Heenan isn't aware of it. And then Bobby Heenan gets back in the ring and he like gets up, Arn's walking down the aisle and he's like, come back, where are you going? And it's just, I think they built this whole dissension in the Heenan family thing perfectly with this match, with Tully not being there, with Arn Anderson and Bobby having a bit of a spat on the apron because Bobby wouldn't tag in. And then that, I think,
The whole thing felt like a movie, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it was like the crescendo of it was Warrior just getting how he didn't get his comeuppance at the hands of the Warrior, which
yeah.
I think was a good little fairy tale ending for it. I think, and Bobby being in the main event in the last two was just, yeah, for a non-wrestler, certainly a good spot to be in. Sort of like Shane McMahon went on to corner that role for the next 10 years or so, didn't he? Just being someone that just, it's not a wrestler, but will just be in the ring.
No, even going back and watching this now, I feel like I want to go watch the Saturday night main event that happened directly after this because of what happened on this pay-per-view. And so, like, I'm sure I've watched it already, but that's great because this is exactly what it was trying to do. You were also trying to get people to buy the pay-per-view, but then what's next after that? And the Saturday night main event, they directed everybody right to that. And it still translates now because, like, again, I'm watching the Boss Man set up with Dusty Rhodes. I'm watching Macho Man with Zeus. And who knows the fallout from Ultimate Warrior and Andre the Giant, Bobby Heenan. It's a pretty cool setup.
Yeah, I say it felt like an ending to a film, but also a little wink to a little sequel coming up as well.
Yeah.
Sort of like a Lord of the Rings Two Towers sort of situation.
Well, I'll give Arn Anderson the best supporting actor in this one. I was just thinking about more of his like facial and his like acting skills in this. At the beginning of the match when Andre is eliminated, he's like absolutely devastated, knowing how much that like was a big blow for the team. And then like when he was trying to tag Bobby and he's getting all frustrated. And at the end, when he was really tired, really knackered, you could just tell that he wanted to hit Bobby, but he knew he couldn't because like he's his boss. And at the end, he's like, "Oh, I've had enough. I'm done." After
Mm.
he's eliminated, it was like just played the role perfectly the whole match. Really sold the
Was,
story.
was that an Arn Anderson in your hand right there?
That's very cool.
Big rubber
It does
guy.
Nice.
Guys, Arn Anderson, big rubber
big rubber
guy.
guy.
Is that a big rubber guy in your pocket, or you just have
He's
Big
got
bald
hair
spot.
there. He's got
Yeah,
hair.
no bald spot.
No bald spot. So he's
Hmm.
blessed. What year Arn Anderson's that based off? 87?
He's got the television
Senior
championship
year
as
in high
well.
school?
Probably then. Must be mid-80s, NWA.
Yeah.
What's delightful. That brings the pay-per-view to a close. Also brings our chat to a close as well, sadly.
So, but overall, if you had to grade this
Overall,
pay-per-view, so I've seen people put this one pretty low when like on a scale of 1 to 10 or an A, B, C, or D, and they put it in like midway or below. And I'm looking
they
at this
they
and I
don't
thought
know
that was fucking
graps,
great.
mate. They don't know graps.
It's more the one of the more forgettable. If you even just taking Survivor Series, this is one of the ones that I always do kind of forget about, I suppose, because there's not really many dramatic moments in it that
No,
you would
and
get in
if
later
you
ones,
look
I
on
suppose.
paper at it and you're like, oh, the bushwhackers, but then I think if you actually sit down and watch it, it has to be watched in its entirety. I
Solid.
feel if you sit there and you sort of half watch it or you pick and choose the matches from it, I don't think you're going to get the full experience. For some reason, even the matches don't fully link. I feel that the whole pay-per-view is booked really well. Like the first match gives you snippets into the future ones. So like Honky Tonk being pulled over for the sunset flip. I think later on in the match, Rick Martel gets the tights on Tito, and then later on he tries to do it again and gets caught. That sort of thing builds up really nicely because you're like, oh, he's going to do it again. I think that's the whole pay per view as a whole needs to be watched as a
Mm.
as a movie, but it essentially does rather than picking little bits from it. So I think on paper you look at it, you're like, oh, it's all right, but I think you watch it, you're like, actually, it's a very well put together show. And as you said, it makes you want to go and watch that last minute event afterwards and see what happened because we didn't really understand what happened. I didn't even know who won out of Warrior and Andre. I assume Warrior. Um, but yeah, it sort of makes you want to go and tuck into it. Then you had the whole Dusty and Bossman feud where Dusty obviously had the cap and the nightstick and all sorts after that, which the Ultimate came from. So I think as a show, it's well set up, it's well put together. It's just not one on paper that you'd look at and go, oh, that's good. Sit down and watch that. That's a comfort film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. For me, it's just complete nostalgia. It just takes me back to when I was that 5, 6, 7-year-old kid just watching that VHS over and over. And that's probably sort of like shading my opinion of it being like if I was going to grade it, I probably wouldn't be grading on the actual show. I'd be grading it upon my own love of it because of nostalgia, really.
Similar to how people look at Rumble 92 again, I guess. We mentioned that quite a lot. But it is the same, isn't it? I think people loved that pay-per-view on the whole because that was the one that a lot of people had. They pushed that pay-per-view a lot harder than
Mm.
a lot of the few of the other ones. I saw that everywhere when I was younger compared
Uh,
to the year before.
in the Northeast here, that's regarded as one of the best pay-per-views in the area of all time
Mm.
because I was in Albany, New York, which was just, 20 minutes south of me. And people still fawn over that experience of the Rumble in the Knickerbocker Arena that it used to be back in the day is incredible.
Well, then once again, that was the colors that were involved in it, and just like this, just as a kid, it catches your eye. The commentary team, as you mentioned before, similar to this, where it's just everything was just bright, everything was in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just all lined up. The outfits are just perfect for us. And then that in conclusion for me, I think that's probably why it's just that you go back and watch it, and it all just makes sense. It all clicks well.
I can't tell you how many times me and one of my friends has pulled one of the other friend out of a rumble and then said, "Every man for himself, big boy," just paying homage to Sid, pulling him out.
Which Sid did nothing wrong in
No.
that. I always get annoyed
No.
with Hogan, just for no reason at all. Hogan's like, you bastard. How dare you throw me over the ropes?
I love though knowing that if this is true, and I really hope it is, I think it is, where WWF had to pipe out the cheers. They had to put the boos over the top because everyone went nuts in the arena when he did that.
Yeah,
Because
Sid
they're
was
by
over
this
his
point-
shit.
Yeah,
Sid
and
was
they're just
fucking
getting fed up with
massive as
Hogan, and
well.
it's perfect.
Yeah, Sid was great. I think after watching the Rumble 92 the last time, I went and watched his 96 run. Um, and he was like Survivor Series 96, and that's when he faced Shawn, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, just the crowd were just like drawn to him. It was a big deal,
Mm.
Sid. But he didn't appear for another couple of years on there, did he? So bless his cottons. Well, Johnny, thanks for stopping by and gushing over the pay-per-view.
Yep. You know where I am for next time.
Whoever have two, you're wait on the phone, mate. Straight in there.
I'm always number 3.
And it was number 3. And Mikey, obviously, it's been a long time we've been chatting. It's sort of first time we've conversed
Yeah,
in my
it's a
life.
shame Dan wasn't able to pop on and try to rile me up, but hopefully there'll be another
Hey,
opportunity for him. And
there'll be more. There'll be more. We
yeah, we can
always
have that.
do this one a month.
John and Chris, it was real nice meeting you guys.
Likewise, Mike.
Don't lie to him. What's their face? Chris, obviously, pleasure having you on. Appreciate
Anytime.
obviously
Yeah,
you
thank
got
you for having me.
your show as well. So what we'll do is in the future we'll get you guys on again because it's always fun to have a little chin wag in it about wrestling and stuff. I don't really got a sign off for the episode. I don't know. Fuck off. Oh, there you go. Mikey Cheese has got his own little 3D printed figure. That's a good sign off. What's that for? Nah, don't worry about it. Nah,
Forget
it's all right.
about it.
Just pair of your snooker, the alibi. All
Got
right,
mine as
see
well.
you guys later. Nice.